More than 17,000 runners and walkers taking to the streets in downtown Grand Rapids and along the Grand today. The 38th annual Fifth Third Riverbank Run, crowning two new national champions, both of whom won their respective open divisions as well, and then raced one another for a new title. Casey Jones shows us the race within the race.
They're going to start them, 12 minutes ahead of the men?
I believe 11 minutes and 30 seconds.
The Riverbank Run certainly lived up to any race's billing. It's not how you start the race, it's how you finish.
Lindsay Scherf trying to hold off Jared Ward for that extra $1,000.
It was perhaps the most exciting finish in the Riverbank Run's 38-year history, as Jared Ward caught Lindsay Scherf in the final 200 meters to win the race outright. It was the newest addition to the largest 25K in the country. Let the women leave early, put money on the line, and then see if the men can catch them over the 15-mile-plus course. The first person to cross the finish line got an extra $1,000.
It was an experiment that worked. Very exciting. Had Lindsay had more competition, I don't know that they would have caught her. She broke away after halfway and did a lot of that work on her own, and the guys had a chance to sort of work together and race.
The women got about 11.5-minute head start, the difference between the 25K records between the genders, and by the time the men's horn went off, 5 kilos. The women were just about 2.5 miles into the course. As the large group of men's elite got their bearings on the dampened course, the field of elite women shrunk to just 3. Valentine Cabet, Sarah Hall, and Lindsay Scherf led the pack.
And they are moving fast.
As the women made the turn towards the fans at Johnson Park and the teeth of the course with the hills, Scherf was on an island, alone out front, racing against herself, the clock, and the men preying on her close behind. From the pack of men, 3 emerged as contenders: Abdirahman, Jared Ward, and last year's top American finisher, Crystal Landry. By the time the group of men reached John Ball Zoo in Fulton, that 2-mile gap separating the genders was under a mile, and Abdirahman had fallen back. With under a mile to go, it was an edge-of-your-seat finish. Scherf was still out in front as she made the turn onto Ottawa. With not much left in her tank, she turned it on with about 500 meters to go, hoping she could break Ward mentally.
From 500 meters out to about 200 meters out, I gave it everything I had, and then with 200 meters to go, I was done. He had just reeled me in, so then I had to kind of just jog. I was so flushed with lactic acid, I was just like, let me not fall down until after the finish line. So I made it to the finish line before falling down.
Ward was more concerned with winning the men's side, but he loved the added competition of catching the women.
It was in the back of my mind, and at one point in the race, we passed one of the girls, and she said, "I'm 17," and I thought, oh, okay, that'd be kind of fun. And so for the next few miles, as we'd catch one, I'd say, okay, 16, and it kind of served as a game you could play out there, so you don't go crazy.
With Scherf noticeably pulling up with about 200 meters left, Ward passed her by, breaking the tape as the American 25K champion, the 2015 Riverbank Run champion, and little heavier pockets.
Well, that was exciting to turn the corner and see Lindsay there up on the hill. We hadn't seen the women's cart at all, and so that was a race I didn't know I was going to have, and then kind of gave you a shot of an adrenaline with 400 meters to go or so. But really, I was still worried about the guys' race. Crystal was right there. We hadn't broken Abdi too far back, and those are both class runners.
No hard feelings from Scherf, who finished 3rd overall behind Crystal Landry and Ward.
He made me have to dig deep. I was comfortable, and he sort of brought out a toughness in me, so I commend him for that. He was certainly tough, has good speed and good toughness, being able to reel me in when I thought I had him. I think some other people were cheering me on, to not look back, like they thought I had him. So whatever.
This was Scherf's 3rd time on the course. For Ward, it was his first, but he says hopefully not last.
Loved it. That the fans coming through the park there and then into the city at the end, I'd see a band playing or someone jumping up and down and yelling, and I'd realize that I was smiling and my stride had picked up. And so it really was energizing. It was a fun atmosphere to race in.
Thanks, Case. Michigan's own Alan